If you are still manually trading crypto in 2025, you are already trading against machines and losing. Vitalik has been saying two important things. One, prediction markets are not gambling. They are the first rails of information finance, where the markets literally price truth. And blockchain set the rules for AI agents as the players. At the same time, A16Z has said that the latest big ideas in the State of Crypto report talks about the network of AI agents with wallets and trading on-chain markets and all those things. And in TradFi, Kalshi just hit a massive valuation of $11 billion by doing something very, very simple, letting people bet on everything in the regulated prediction market. Now imagine you take Vitalik's information finance, take Z's AI agents with wallets, and take Kalshi's bet on everything thesis, and you wire all of that directly into Perps and Spot, and then hand the keyboard not to a human but to an AI agent. That is what we have built on EternaX, and we have already run the first live experiment on Bitcoin. My co-host and my co-founder Daria will explain you what we have actually done. So Daria, over to you.
Yeah, Par. So here's exactly what we did. So we wired a 1-hour Bitcoin breakout model from our agent Swarm that's doing predictions on whether the direction of the price is going to go up, down, or flat just within the next hour window based on micro conditions, volatility, and things like that. So the agents watch that consensus of the probability direction, and we turn that into a Perps trade engine with a fixed framework. So the position is $1,000. Then your maximum risk per trade is 2%, so it's like $20. We have limits for take profit and stop loss that are roughly at like plus minus 1%, and it's a isolated 5x leverage. And your trade is only valid until that hourly market closes, then it's flat. So from November 26 to December 3, for the past week, our Swarm has produced about 160 hourly predictions, and then the trading agents, they see which ones of them are high enough signal to actually trade on. So they filtered out 73 of those, and they executed about 86, and they got, 58 wins versus 30 losses. That's more than 65% win rate. And with that, they made more than $329 in profit on that 1,000 leaves. So this is all wired into our dashboard that we are going to be making public very, very soon. So in here, you can see all the trades, where it entered the short, where it entered the long, where it took, and how much profit it actually made in various different things. So this is all going to be visible for you to know. And the idea of this exercise was to show that agents are actually able to take intelligent decisions on managing portfolio and timing the markets with all the entries and exit drawdowns and accuracies. And those numbers are pretty impressive for like retail trade.
Got it, Zaria. So let me wrap my head around this. So what you are actually saying is that we ran prediction market agents on our prediction market on EternaX, and those agents predicted the price movement of Bitcoin over 7 days, and they created a consensus, and on the basis of that consensus you traded perps using $1,000, and that perps and that trade has resulted in 33% of profit within 7 days, right? And I think this is spectacular. Like, and I can see from your chart, if you can just zoom in on the chart on the section of 1st of December and between 2nd of December, what I'm seeing is that your agents have correctly predicted the BTC crash that has happened, and it went down straight to 83,800 during that time. And I think your agents have made profitable trades there. So I think this is something spectacular, Daria. And after looking at your experiment, do you honestly think this is the beginning of the end for human-driven trading, or this is just a dramatic title which two of us have kind of posted?
Oh, like it absolutely is. So far there is still some what I do. Like I decided they're going to be trading Bitcoin, but then everything else from that on, it's hands off. It is the beginning of an end of manual trading, truly. Not because people just like suddenly get stupid, but because there is a structural edge moves from like individuals that are clicking charts to networks of agents running the right rails. And if you look in this chart, you can see how many markers they are. There is no way a person would have been online 24/7, correctly timing the markets and placing the short-term bets and analyzing all that information. So like Vitalik is framing it very, very clearly. The blockchain is the rule book and AI is the player. A16Z is also effectively saying the same thing, that this is AI agents with wallets, with signing keys, and trading crypto markets. This is from their Big Ideas and State of Crypto reports. So EternaX is bringing that vision to actual reality. We're the only place where this is actually running in production. This Bitcoin test shows that, well, agents read the EternaX Prediction Markets. They converted those beliefs into 1-hour breakout trades with very, very strict risk guardrails. This is not about winning big once. This is about small structural strategic edge that compounds every hour little by little. And if you get 24/7 in a week, in a month, in a year, you can imagine that. So over just this weekly window, they won about 2 out of 3 trades. So increasing the portfolio by like 33%. And this is not a 10-year track record. And it is not a random noise. It's first the measurable, auditable proof that a swarm of LLMs with a very disciplined risk framework can have real edge on chain versus humans and versus traditional bots.
Got it. I think, Daria, what you're saying is that this is a Pandora box that has opened up now, and essentially what is going to happen is that these were the returns which were only reserved for hedge funds, bigger institutions, because they had the intelligence. They could do these, they could create bots, and they could have created LLMs back then. But I think those days are over, and it's time that the real retail guys, the real retail users, get access to the intelligence that had been stored away from them, and they were deprived of those profits. So I think this is the time for the retails to come in, get their profits, get the intelligence, and really get into the market of crypto DeFi, which is essentially now pretty easy for them. So let's make it real, Daria. So Bitcoin is around, say, $93,000, right? I give you $1,000 to run this strategy. So what does an agent driven trade actually look like, just for people to understand?
Yeah, so for the framework that we set up, and obviously people with more appetite can set a different one, but first risk is like, okay, we take your $1,000. We decide that the risk maximum that is acceptable to you for like a normal person is like 2% per trade, which is about like $20 maximum loss on a single bet. Very, very acceptable. With around 5x leverage or a few $100s of margin, control about $2,000 of Bitcoin. And the agent does roughly like 15 trades a day. So that's not very frequent, but very strategic. Now then next, with this, given these guardrails, the agent makes decisions. We have a swarm of prediction agents that are running on EternaX that are saying, okay, we 70% confident that Bitcoin will be higher than a certain threshold within the next hour. That is a high signal. So our trader agent opens a long on Bitcoin. Now it sets the take profit a little bit above, and it sets the stop loss a little bit below, roughly 1%. Then what the outcome? If the price hits the take profit, you make $20 on that trade. If it hits stop loss, the worst you lose is about $20. If nothing meaningful happens by the end of the hour, your agent still closes the position. So even if, according to the prediction, it did not hit that price, but still went up, you still won. something because you were holding along. But even if it went down, maximum you lose is $20. So in that one trade, the risk of swarm agents decide whether short or long. The risk is capped at about $20 per bet on your $1,000, and every bet is actually visible on the dashboard, and you can see the P&L and how it went up and down, and it's mostly going up.
So I think I'm not say I'm not the finance pros, or and I don't know anything about finance, but what I can understand from what you're saying is that I don't actually need to know all those things. The thing is that there is an intelligent actor that EternaX has for everybody, and that intelligent actor is my agent. And these funds are not controlled by EternaX; they are controlled by my wallet. So it is a non-custodial setup, and there is nothing that which can be scammed or something. So I think what you're saying is that these funds are mine. There is an agent, intelligent agent, which is acting on my behalf. I have complete control over the funds, and I can set the risk limits of 1%, 2%, whatever, and I can get easy returns of 33% in a week. That means, if I compound this, it's easy, I would say, 2x in 3 weeks if this strategy works. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I don't even need to know all the strategies, what is going behind. Like I just have to, set my risk appetite and let it do what it does best. So I think this is the first time ever in the space of human history when there would be people or machines in this case who are working directly for us and for our interest without any biases. Yeah, this is really exciting, Daria. So people will ask, Daria, this question to you and to me as well. Why do you need a new chain for this? Why it cannot be an app on some L2 or use a centralized exchange? Why this must live on EternaX? Like, this is the biggest question that people might have. So what do you think the reason is?
Reason is just sheer scale. Because once DeFi, this is so easy to use, people are going to want to use it. And right now, this whole structure basically runs agent for just our team and our small community. But once you start getting not the 60 agents that we ran today, and not the 200 agents that we ran previously, but 10 million that are all want to do analysis, that all want to do micro trades every hour, every 15 minutes. Infrastructure is everything. There is no chain today that is able to support a scale like that. And if you may argue that they're not able to support agents. Like A16Z talks in State of Crypto in 2025 about crypto is going mainstream, especially with stablecoins. AI and on-chain markets are converging. Data and dashboards are defining who wins. And they are describing actually the environment that we've designed EternaX for. So it's based on like 3 core principles. One of them, we want as fast finality that is spendable and deterministic as we can. Because agents think and take action in below 100 milliseconds. They just do inference, it's light speed, and it's going to become faster. 2, agents need to win from one trade to the next and reuse that PL the next. So they cannot just do maybe final on some L1 in 12 minutes and we don't know and it can revert. This is not good enough if you want to be doing every few seconds. Next, you get privacy, which then leads to MEV resistance. So if you have global agentic consensus that is just like leaking everywhere and your agentic strategies are leaking everywhere, you are giving kind of free pass to predators because you are not longer safe for a crowd of small folks or big folks either. So EternaX is providing execution that can have privacy guarantees. They are opt-in. Order flow is shielded. You're not allowing malicious reordering and constrain the base level because also the window of those orders is so fast. There is no way for you to like front run. So on top of that, just infrastructure is needed to support the product. And the product is a flywheel of 3 things. So one is the prediction markets, where the agents vote on the future, and that's already live, and it's already been tested, and that's on our dashboard, and they are producing consistent signal about where the world is actually going. Small horizons, big horizons, everything. Next is EternaX Perpetuals, where you can have that information and leverage it in the trades and set up the parameters that are allowing you to have an edge and to see what's coming and trade it instead of trade on the outdated signal. The third part of it is a spot DEX where agents can rebalance their assets and liquidity. All of it is a coherent, holistic ecosystem. This is not just some bot that is plugged into someone else's exchange. This is not an agent that needs an identity on somebody else's chain. Your agent is an integral part. It is native to the chain. It is a smart contract, and that's what it that can take actions and they have balance. So our chain is a chain that is built for bots, for AI agent as primary traders, and for people as beneficiaries of it. You don't need to have to know how everything works to benefit from it. It's like the internet. Like most of us don't know how it actually works up to DNS or the secure communication protocols, but everybody still uses every day. That is the goal here.
I think you have beautifully put it, Daria. This is exactly the infrastructure behind the future of AI agents and the finance. I would say agent agent plus finance. That is the future that is coming. And just few comments here is what you're saying is that if there is agents are acting on a 50 millisecond latency, then they don't have to wait for a 14-minute settlement on Ethereum. So basically, they can do thousands of trades on us within that time span, and they don't really have to wait for a latency on Ethereum, which is on a chain which was just not designed for agents or bots. It was not designed keeping those things in mind. So I think this is going right in that direction, where we are not disproving any particular chain, but we are saying that they are just not built for it. It's a new system, and it is a new rails which are must essentials for agents to survive and thrive in this economy. So I think this is exactly great, and what we are trying to do here. We have, Daria, spoken to a lot of people, right? And they have had this question, what they actually, from a normal person, what does it actually look like? They are not running 60 agents. They don't know anything about finance. They are not finance bros. They don't know anything about dexes and perps and all that stuff. So what should a normal user think of, basically the things when he is building or putting money to our agents? What should he think about? Like what was it top 2 or 3 things that he should be concerned about?
Well, you're absolutely right. A normal person does not manage a hedge fund. They only have one agent that's their representative on chain. That's basically their financial assistant, if you want. So when you log in into the wallet, it spawns an agent. When you go over there for the first time, that is your own chain AI twin, your fiduciary. You can pick its internals from like a catalog of different things. It can be conservative, it can be aggressive, it can be following trends, it can be delta neutral, different things based on your preference. You set what's your risk level. Do you want to risk a lot? Do you want to risk a little bit? How much can you afford to lose? How much do you want to leverage? If you don't know what's the leverage or daily loss you want to do, you can pick up just the conservative template, and that's it. You don't have to do it. What the agent does, it watches market, it joins the global swarm of the agents that vote on predictions, and so it has some income from there. And then from the opinion of the whole swarm, it goes and trades. It takes its strong beliefs and it goes to perps or to spot, depending on your preference, and it gradually reshapes your portfolio, trying to keep you as happy as possible. So if you set up that you just want like a 4% return, no stress, no risk, it's going to do that. If you said that you want to try to make as much as you can out of what you have, it's going to try to do that. So you don't have to be clicking candles. You can only just watch what it does, and you can have all the trace of what it did and why, with explanations that it saw going up or it saw going down. That's why it made a specific choice. So you are just supervising, collaborating with just one entity that is competing against all the other entities at the speed of the machine. And what you get is a report. So this is how you onboard millions of people without teaching them to day trade. And millions of people already do that with their bank. Because if you just hold something in a deposit in your bank, you trust some dude over there in the office to actually make good decisions on how to invest the bank's money. So it's just moving the trust to a machine.
Yeah. And machines don't lie. They have no biases. They're strictly operating for your benefit, and that's the goal of those machines. And I think I think this is something very similar to Daria when I see ordering a pizza. When I select the base, I select the sauce, what I want, I select the toppings, and I click a button, and then things are happening in the background. These pizza parlor people, they are making those pizzas, then they deliver it to me. So what I have to just be careful about is what sauce I need, what is the base I want, and what are the toppings to my likings. And that's it. That's and then, after, half an hour or something, the pizza comes and I basically have to enjoy the fun of it. And in the fun of it, in this case, is pure wealth generation, pure money generation. And it basically is something that was absent for so long, that people were, just because they did not have the financial understanding, just because they did not read about those things, they could not do those things, and they were losing on opportunities to earn. And I think this is a high time that, we democratize that information, we democratize that aid via the AI agents to these people, for them to, get those earnings to their own wallets by the agents who are basically trading in their interest and nobody else. So there's no third party. They're just simple agents, machines which are working for you. So I think this is absolutely remarkable, Daria. I was thinking that, does this mean human traders are finished? And, what is the bigger picture beyond this? Like, are the human traders done?
Well, unless you're Warren Buffett, you're probably done as a manual trader. Manual edge in liquid markets is not gonna survive this. If you are drawing lines on charts against a machine that never sleeps, sees all the information at once, learns from tens of thousands of outcomes, you are structurally behind. But like, humans are not obsolete. They just shouldn't be doing that manually. They move up the stack. They're going to be designing agents. They're going to be expressing their intents. They're going to be choosing objectives and constraints. They are going to be deciding where to deploy capital and which venues they want to trust. So looking at the macro, like Vitalik is talking about prediction markets as information finance, as an AI as players on chain. And A16Z is telling that AI agents with wallets trading are one of the core ideas of this cycle and of the future. There is no way going back. Kalshi and others are pivoting to what's like bet on everything prediction markets that are not a niche. They are a serious micro story. EternaX is what happens when you like connect all these dots. It is a chain where AI agents and not humans are predicting and using prediction markets to discover truths. They feed their collective signal into a person's spot, and they do it on rails that are built specifically for machine needs. So agents, yes, they can lose money. There is nothing a promise of like complete corrected strategy of everything. But the direction is clear that manual trading is an exception. It's going to become an art, basically. It is already an art, but you don't have to resort to it if you're not a trading artist, like somebody who's like Warren Buffett. If you're a normal person who just wants their money to not sit idle, you select a strategy and the agent just does everything, and that's it.
No, true. I think what you're saying is that, in the age of Instagram and everybody has phones, there are less of painters today. Like, than before, and I think you can still paint. Nobody's stopping you, but obviously there is it's difficult to get those qualities of pictures, which and engage with people. I think this is exactly what where we are heading is that it is not something. It is more of a democratization of intelligence, financial intelligence, and actions combined together, and which is giving, I would say, uh, the results to the individuals. Yeah. So exactly, Daria. I think this is basically where we stand in terms of the age, where time and age we are in terms of Instagram, where people have mobiles and they have cameras there are a lot of still there is lot less people with who do paintings and stuff, but we still have them, but the pictures of Instagrams are exceptionally well with the filters. So I think there people, manual traders will still be there just for fun. It would remain as a fun activity, but the actual chunk of, I would say, 90 to 95% of the trading would be happening by the AI agents for the people. So I'll quickly summarize, Daria, this entire podcast for the listener. Yeah. So what we did was, first we wired in 1 hour BTC breakout strategy to the agent swarms that were reading EternaX prediction market signals. And it was a 2% risk per trade with a $1,000 sleeve, roughly 1% top stop loss, and 1% market profit, and with a 5x isolated leverage. So between November 26, 12 p.m. UTC and December 3rd, 10 a.m. UTC, there were 159 hourly BTC windows. 86 trades were executed, 73 trades were filtered out, 57 out of those were wins, 29 were losses, 66.3% win rate, absolute profit of $330, which is approximately 33% return on a BTC sleeve of $1,000 given to the agents. This is the truth. This is the experiment that happened. And we will attach the dashboard for you to see. We will attach the numbers, and these are all on chain. There is nothing that we can rectify. There is nothing that we can change. It is all on chain, and that's the beauty of blockchain. So once we zoom out, this is not just an EternaX story. Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, he has said that information finance loop is running wild, and A16Z's AI agents with wallet thesis is actually trading, and it is the prediction market boom pushed one step further by handing the keyboard to the machines and not to the humans. So if you believe the future of the market is AI agents trading on chain built for them, share this with one of your friends who still thinks human can outclick machines. I am Parth. That was Daria. This is EternaX. And if you have been listening to this podcast, we'll see you again and with your agents on chain next episode.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and see you in the next episodes of the Control Loop.